Okay. I don't know how well this is working. I'm trying something a little bit different. Tonight sucks. Um, I feel tired constantly. I keep lying down, and then I start to get agitated. I get up. I get tired again tonight constantly, but I don't have the wherewithal to do anything with the nervous energy, which I think is mostly out to coffee. I've fallen into a horrible habit of those protein shakes with the powdered whey protein, chocolate whey protein that has 150 calories in it per two scoops. I get a water glass and fill it full of coffee. I make one of those with it, and that's the only way I drink coffee anymore. I have like 4 or 5 of them a day, and it's ridiculously expensive on top of it. It just got to be horrible for you. Um, well, maybe not. Um, but I'm waiting for the coffee to cool off. I'm gonna put it in the freezer so I can make another one to hopefully get the energy to play World of Warcraft tonight for a little bit. I just started and stop it and started and stop it and just can't grab me for even 10 minutes. Really, really, literally can't grab me for 10 minutes. So um, I'm having one more coffee shake and I'll be ready to go for at least an hour. Do something besides stare off into space or talk nonsense. Yeah, long blog entry written. I was gonna do something with Grok to show how the different personalities made different images from the same material. But one of the personalities likes nudity and is worried about YouTube. Um, so where was I? Um, it's 3 minutes. There's not really much to say. Um, Today is on this after midnight, day 9. 49, 49 days, 50 days. Depending, for one day at the end, I had one and only one pill, which is half a dose, except for, um, so, um, 49, 50 days. And 2 more day, and I'll be 20% of the way done. But I slept for the first 5 days. Um, I think the first 5, the first 4, maybe the first 5, first 4. Um, the first day I didn't sleep was as hell. Oh God. Um, uh, Irrespective of that, I said he worked up about tonight. I get the prescription. I realized he wants to write it. He doesn't want to know about what you did. He will learn what he wants to learn. Do not volunteer anything the fuck else. When you say, can you please write that off for 30 days, it's a bit much temptation. Any error you have made on your part will be completely made up for in his mind. Are you showing responsibility there? Just showing responsibility that is better against most of his patients. Not, oh, I can score 90-day bottles now. So he'll be thrilled at that. That'll be play for him. And my brother's going to be in town likely the week after that, on Sunday, so next week. He'll be in town, and so they actually make a blood test. I was say, my brother's in town, and there's only entertainment. I don't want him to be free. Um, so, uh, it's not anything to say. I've, you put in kitchen cabinets, kitchen countertops, not cabinets, countertops, and reface the cabinets. You put in kitchen cabinet countertops, and it's here in December, and there's some debris left over. I finally got at the end of it, he says, no, I got to do something about this. I said, oh, don't worry about it, get it here, I'll do it. He said, oh, that's a good idea. And so like, a week before he's coming back, I'm getting it off the patio and getting it down to the dumpster. Um, and load up my car with it. It's the only sensible thing to do. I got the screen door, the patio screen door, not one of those things with the black little squeaky things, with the thing that doesn't really work to hold it in place. Um, they still haven't make those. Um, storm door, screen door. There we have it. Storm door on the front door, screen door on the patio. Um, um, no, what was I thinking? He 55 degrees out. Gotta open the door and be warm all fucking day. So all he's gonna do is let me check something to make sure I'm right that it needs this repair. Um, yeah, I mean, I asked him to replace the exhaust fan in the upstairs bathroom, to fix two toilets. If he's game, I'm sure he probably will be. I'll probably uh, get a new sofa, and then he'll be out of here and fixing the car. So it'll be 2, 3 days. I just want to change the scenery. He said I'll come in late June, early July, and I get an email from him last week saying the car part's coming between the 3rd and the 6th. I'll leave a few days later. I was asked him to put it off a week. Um, get my car inspected, which is an issue because I'm an idiot. And of course, the maintenance department closes at 6 p.m., 5 p.m., and I don't know how the hell this happened. I gravitated towards a schedule where I am asleep all fucking day. I mean, I'm going to bed at 6, 7 a.m. and waking up at 5:30 in the afternoon. Through the course of the withdrawal, I just started sleeping later and later, and I was, and then when I stopped sleeping, I stayed up, just sleep to about the same hour, a little bit past it, and I don't know what to do. I set your alarm clock, crawl back 2 hours at a time for 5 days. Easier said than done. Oh God! I try to flip it the hard way. That never works. That literally never fucking works. When does that ever work for you? I mean, seriously, let me stay up a little bit later. Let me go to bed at 11 a.m. and see if I can get up. It doesn't work, but I'll probably try it. Set my alarm. I'll pull back enough by Friday where I can get up at noon um, and get in there. Yeah, probably have to leave it there. He said you can wait, but sometimes you need to be there all day, so I'm planning on getting it over home. Um, I think I talked about that yesterday, didn't I? I don't know. I have a sleep schedule. There's nothing going on in my life. Why do I keep these things? Oh, I have a cyber stalker. I believe, I'm not certain, I believe it is a retarded woman from Wales. Um, I don't know if that's actually true. She's sneaky, right? She might not be who she says she is. Isn't that fucking life for you, eh? That's a microcosm for my goddamn life. I wind up with a real life stalker who's retarded and likely didn't have your typical childhood experience from talking to her from Wales. At least it's nice and sanitary. Um, but I haven't hurt her feelings by putting this up. I hear that retarded is like the new. I'm gonna say it's like nigger now. You can't say retarded. I don't know who the fuck said that, but apparently you can't say retarded and you can't say faggot. I don't know who set up these rules, but and then again, back in the 40s, you could say nigger all you wanted. So it's, and personally, I feel as long as you're not calling somebody that, you can still say the word. That's my take on it. So, I did call her retarded. Oh, God. My brother says this. He says, "What are kids supposed to call each other these days?" And I didn't hang out with his crowd, right? But I was too dorky. We didn't do that. Um, uh, God. Me and my friend and a half. Oh, God. So, uh, God. High school lunchroom. Every year, the first day. Because I didn't have any good friends, like at all. And, like, I did see some through the summer, but not enough to talk about it. Just didn't come up. But walking that lunchroom, is there going to be somebody here I can sit with? You actually got the reject table. Hmm. When you had to go to the reject table. Yeah, gosh. Anyway, memories. Not horrible, but obviously not good. Worst things have happened in life since. Um, so, um, Uh, um, I estimate that if, and this is conservative, I believe, that Grok estimated a 3 month deadline for the project. Now, the first 3 weeks, I was working I was working 2 hours a day max. It's no lie, 2 hours a day max, because I was so wrung out from missing so much sleep and from being off anxiety meds. I was just a mess. Nothing like I was in December on the prescribed dose. I said that last time. Um, Presuming I'm there again or close to, when I get back on it, I have solid work days, meaning I won't abandon everything else, but at least 6 hours, right? At least it's 6 fucking hours. I think absolute max, not Grok intended for me to just let it do it and for me to tape it up. Obviously, this is how long this will take, but I'm warning everything I'm doing it myself. I think absolute max 3 more months to debug it, to make the changes to the server software, everything. Absolute max 3 more months. 2.5 is a bit more likely. This is 6 hour work days. Possibly 1.5. I doubt it. It's so hard to predict these things. And they tell you in classes in college it is notoriously difficult to set timelines for computer programming projects. And it just plain is. So you can get stuck on a bug for 2 days, or you can blow through it in 10 minutes, the same bug. Things like that, right? So it's just, um, if you've seen it before, that particular programmer has seen it before. Um, no. Um, so that takes me to, um, it takes me into September probably before I can start patching up. And I'll ask you, I'll say, look, I'm applying for jobs. What do I need to do to make everything as presentable as possible while I work on your new project, which I only work at like 4 hours a day, or 2 hours a day to start out with, even, which I am no good at keeping more than one ball in the air at a time. It's really no good. Crawling it 2 hours a day, I can keep the place clean. I can do the exercises God told me to on a regular schedule. I was just blissed out about it. It's making almost no forward progress. Um, I didn't say that out loud. Um, but imagine overhaul my LinkedIn page, overhaul the portfolio site, overhaul ITsoftware.net. Um, these three things will be done, and that is probably about another month. Um, Easy. I don't know how much I'm going to let it overhaul my portfolio site. I think that, well, they code into obviously the writing in stays. That's a new sample manual. Has a template where I can do the printed out 3D book look. Do it Neodeco still. I like that. Neodeco. It really did turn out well. They called it Neodeco and it looks good. But I need a new one now. I need new screenshots, the documentation on the website, all that stuff. The documentation on the website, it needs to be redone. The new product. So much needs to be redone. But again, a month, probably. Um, so that takes me to end of November, uh, to mid October at the latest, mid end of November at the latest. At which point I start sending out resumes. Um, and from what I hear in the general run of things, if you send out, I'm not going to be sending out um, 6 resumes a day, or even 5 or 4. or even three, um, maybe three, probably closer to two, 5 days a week. Being more selective about what I send out for um, work as I do, because the AI filters are really like that. And um, and 50% tech hiring started January and February. And last January and February, I was getting straight on the Adderall. And so be a month ahead of schedule to get sync for that again. And if February passes, I'll ask Rock what else can I do. This new project, well, it's an 8 month project. That's if I let it do it. Probably, I think it has it planned out that way. And there's a good likelihood that I will, to a greater extent, after I learn the design principles behind it to a .NET Windows application, after I learn how to layer those, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, um, then I'll let it do most of the work. And ask what job sites to go to, ask which jobs to apply for. I 2 resumes a day, or two applications a day will likely consume 2 hours, unless it's just because yeah, the whole thing. Um, I'll probably wind up with 3 copies of my resume for different applications, and keep it brief enough, and um, you know, cover letters, etc. So I guess that's about it. How long is that? 22 minutes. God, have I learned how to talk? Um, well, I yesterday I caught you up for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I've pushed you off into the end of the year, so I don't think there'll really be much of one tomorrow. And well, you know you're retarded. Engine Wales.